welcome to the first episode of The Modern Couple. I am Allison Cole.
And I'm Michael.
And we are The Modern Couple. I'm so excited that we're finally able to do this. Yep. We've been talking about it for a while, and we're finally making it happen, so super excited. So a little bit about me is I am a mom to 2 daughters, got 2 stepdaughters, registered nurse, gym owner, operator, personal trainer, and also a wannabe pro bodybuilder. What about you, babe?
So I'm the other half of the Brady Bunch with the 2 daughters.
Right.
I'm a pro wrestler, other half of the co-owner portion of the gym.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a bunch of guys in the dating world in the future of our daughters' lives that are going to have some fun times showing up with me to deal with.
I can't wait. Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
I also have a plethora of animals because animals make me happy.
Yeah.
So we have some at the gym, some at home. I want to add more. As soon as I find the ones I want, then we'll make it happen, and maybe we'll introduce you to some of them in future podcast episodes.
Yeah, I actually have a video of some of them mating. So that
unintentional mating.
Yeah, unintentional mating. That's right. So little science lesson there for everyone. But we really wanted to create this podcast because we want to help other married couples out there, or even serious dating, I would say, teach dating, their married. Own, whatever. No judgment here. Working as personal trainers, we talk to people all day long from all walks of life, different backgrounds, different stories, experiences, whatever. And I hate to say it, but I feel like majority of people are unhappy in their marriage.
There's a lot of unhappy people.
Yeah. / relationships.
Run into.
Yeah. I would say, and not necessarily all of them are truly unhappy, but they are facing kind of a difficult time in their relationship that we hear about. And a lot of people are always like, how are y'all so happy? Y'all seem so in love, so happy together. Y'all work together all day long. I could never do that with my spouse. Y'all are at home together, do pretty much everything together. How do we get there? How do we tap into what y'all have? And so we were like, why don't we create a podcast just giving some advice, some experiences. We're not professionals, but we do have life experience.
We've lived and learned from past relationships.
Some of us have lived a little bit longer.
Some of us. But we're not going to shame people for their age.
Because we don't shame. We don't shame here on this channel.
Especially me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a lot of acquaintances and friends, clients that just aren't happy and don't understand why. So most podcasts out there are professional therapists giving therapy advice, and I feel like therapy advice is so, especially that you get on other podcasts, is so generic.
Maybe not applicable.
Yeah, and it's not that we're going to give a one-size-fits-all take on everything, but we're going to take real-world examples of what we find and hear and discuss it. So we're not going to just break down a specific case like they try to do generically on a lot of podcasts. A lot of those podcasts are good, but
oh, I love listening to them.
But people a lot of times take away unrealistic ideas on how they should handle things. So hopefully we can take our approach and what we're going to do on ours, and people can be like, oh, because we're not going to give therapeutic advice. We're just going to give what we do and our take on men and women's role in a relationship, which should be fun.
Right. I would think yeah.
Disclaimer, we're not trying to offend anyone, but if you get offended, you might need to look in the mirror. Just saying.
I'm just hoping what we say helps somebody. You know, they
Yeah.
find us relatable, like, man, maybe I could try that.
Yeah.
Who knows? Hopefully, fingers
There's a lot
crossed.
of people in the world that like different takes and different views. Hopefully we can grab a percentage of those people to watch our podcast, and they might learn something or grab something from it.
All right. Well, with that being said, we're going to dive right in. So I did see this post
Head first.
that I wanted to read because I feel like this post is very broad and applies to a lot of couples out there, whether you're married or not, because, you know, people are having kids without being married. Guilty right here. That was me. And you as well.
I did.
So there you go. So this post says, why do people say marriage is hard work? Asking those who have been married for years and years. Now, we have not been married for years and years.
We've been
Quick,
married
how
for
have
years and years.
how long have we been married?
Multiple years counts as years and years.
Okay. What's multiple?
2.
Okay. Good job.
Years and years.
So, just curious. We have 2 kids under 2. We were talking last night and we both felt like we were just 2 people raising kids together. However, we both agreed that sometimes we get glimpses of the love we felt before kids.
Are these people raising the same kids they had together? Or?
Yes. This is like they got married.
It's not a Brady Bunch like us?
It is not a Brady Bunch like us where we've got kids and other kids and co-parents and exes and blah, blah, blah. This is just simple mom, dad, kids.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Blah, blah, blah. Glimpses of the love we felt before kids. But a lot of the time, it just feels like we're trying to get by. We've all been in survival mode, been there. Is this why people, I don't have that much love? Is this why people say marriage is hard work? Because you don't feel the love all the time. Now, I'm assuming what they mean by just trying to get by is they just feel like roommates.
Choking on your drink.
That's what you get for taking the last bit of it.
I didn't drink it all.
Which we've all been there, you know, having kids, especially 2 under 2. My girls are 2 years apart. It's a lot of work. You're tired. They said in this post they're just trying to get by, survival mode. They feel like roommates. I think obviously the life that you had with your partner before kids is going to look a lot different than the life you have once the kids are here.
So expectations should change. And my theory is you should not have expectations of anyone ever. And that might be the beginning of this person's problem.
I think that just because you have kids doesn't mean the love for the person should change, because they're saying like, oh, what we look like before kids we look different afterwards, as it should, because your life has changed. You're in a completely new season of life, but I don't think it means that you completely have to fall out of love with that person or not enjoy that person anymore. It just looks different because you have these variables.
So is the question, is love hard work, or is the question, is the relationship hard work? Because my interpretation of this person's post was they don't feel like, let me rephrase that. They feel like the love is hard work. They don't feel the love.
Yeah, this post said, like, is marriage hard work? I guess they're saying, is it supposed to be this
Well, they
hard?
said, is marriage hard work because I don't feel the love I used to feel.
Right.
So they took it. So those are 2 separate things.
It's a lot all in one.
Are they thinking marriage is hard, or are they thinking love should be different? Do you understand what I'm saying?
A little bit.
So it goes to the whole languages of love thing. Is this person saying they have a different language than what their partner is showing them? Or are they just saying the entire marriage concept is hard over time? Because that's 2 different takes, and we can tackle them both. But if you're saying you don't feel the love, that's a whole other question.
I see what you're saying. when I read this, I took it as their relationship and marriage looked like this before kids, and it was probably easy, what they say, honeymoon phase, little effort.
Yeah.
And now after kids, especially with two of them under two, good Lord, yes, I know exactly what that feels like.
So was this post written by a male or a female?
I couldn't tell.
I feel like this post was written by a female.
I probably would agree with you.
Because I'm not being sexist, but
But are you? I'm just kidding. I know you're not.
women think more with their heart.
Yes.
And this question is written, I feel like, from the heart. So this person doesn't know how to look at things from her partner's perspective. The partner looks at from a head perspective, not a heart perspective. And when it comes to the head, men have two brains. Men have two brains that they think with. One of them will override the other one 100% of the time. So if this person, and I'm going to assume it's a female, because a male wouldn't say, I don't feel the love. They would say marriage is hard because my wife nags me all the time.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
My wife doesn't have sex with me all the time. They would make it a physical thing, like tangible. That's out there. Not, I don't feel the love.
I gotcha.
Like I used to.
Yeah.
And so that means a whole other can of worms was opened up. The way the phrasing of the question was presented. So, I mean, am I wrong in thinking of that?
No, because men and women, they have completely different perspectives when it comes to the same issue. And I know a lot of times I will talk to my dad and be like, Dad, from a man's perspective, what is it? Like, how does a man look at this? Especially he's a stepdad. He's been there. He's a husband. Like, as a man, what do you think? And I always love getting a man's point of view because it helps me better understand you and like how you see things. But to answer this question that I said a lot of people I feel like can relate to, is marriage hard? I wouldn't say marriage is hard, but it requires work. And I think people forget the little things, and the little things add up to the bigger picture in the end. And I think it takes, just like little effort to make your spouse feel loved, even with kids, and I think it's so important for your kids to have a mom and dad that love each other, that demonstrate love, that demonstrate affection, so they know what a healthy relationship looks like. For example, Thursday, Friday mornings, I come to the gym a little bit later. I got to get the girls to school, and he wakes me up by bringing me a cup of coffee, fluffing my pillows, turning on the TV, boob grab here and there, which is fine. But it's just that.
If I don't grab the boob, I get a text message when I can grab my boob.
That's true. Now look, if he doesn't grab my boob or my butt when he walks by, I will say, what's wrong? Like, is everything okay? Are you mad at me? Do you not like me? Is there someone else? Like, why aren't you grabbing my boob? So that's fair. But that just small act, he's already fixing himself a cup of coffee in the morning. It takes nothing for him to pour me a cup and bring it to me. And then what do I usually do? 5-10 minutes later, once I'm awake, I text him, I miss you, I want you, come back, blah, blah, blah. And that just sets up our day, and it takes nothing to do that, I feel like. And it's like I want to do that.
And to tie that into the question, I do those things because my
you want sex.
lower brain is telling me I need to do those things. Sex one. Because if I start neglecting small things, because my view about the relationship is the time outside of having sex is foreplay. Foreplay isn't just the 5 to 10 to 15, whatever people put into it with conventional foreplay stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The oral, the touching, the kissing, the making out, the humping, all leading up to.
Are we in 7th grade? The humping?
Whatever, like people have their different things.
That's true. Right. You're right.
My foreplay starts when I wake up.
Uh-huh.
And I bring you a cup of coffee, puff your pillows, boob grab, all that stuff. Turn the TV on. All that's foreplay. When I walk by you every time throughout the day, I touch you in certain places, that's foreplay.
Mm-hmm.
You sending me text messages that you miss me, that's foreplay. I view all of that as foreplay to the actual act of having sex
Mm-hmm.
that I know we're going to have.
Mm-hmm.
All that is me giving you attention, showing you I love you. Just doing little things to touch you, to show that I'm thinking about you. Because I know that, like I said earlier, female thinks we're a heart.
Right.
And so I'm doing all the things that caters to your heart so that my little brain.
You mean
can
big
get what it
brain?
needs
Mm-hmm.
later on. So,
With that being said, like you were talking about the love languages, now you bringing me a cup of coffee and waking me up, like that does make me feel loved and that you're thinking about me. However, depending on what your love language is,
yeah.
I think would make a difference.
And I think that's the problem with this person. They don't express their love language to
Right.
their partner, and their partner doesn't know their love language. Their partner may be doing a dozen things every day that they think means I love you.
Mm-hmm.
But this person writing this post hasn't ever confirmed or nor denied.
Mm-hmm.
That is the things that show me. Like with you, I know it's quality time and physical touch.
Yeah.
Even though bringing you a cup of coffee is a little thing, like you still have to do there's 5 on the little.
Well, that takes time.
I know everybody's read the book, seen the stuff. There's
Mm-hmm.
5.
Yep.
But just because her love language is physical touch and quality time doesn't mean I don't do the others.
Mm-hmm.
It means I still bring a cup of coffee which I guess would be an act of service.
Yeah. And then I would say words of affirmation, like you tell me all the time,
You want to
how good I look.
Yeah, you want to tell
Mm-hmm.
your person how pretty they are, how good they look, that you love them.
And I think men need to hear that just as much as women. And I think that's where there's a lot of confusion.
All 5 parts of the love language are important.
Yeah.
Some are more important to others. Like buy me presents is last on the list.
Agreed. Yeah.
On my love language, the last of the list. Like you can buy me presents till die. You never do the other 4.
Even if I came in here with like a Savannah monitor and was like, look what I got you.
If you bought me a Savannah, that would mean a lot.
Yeah.
But but it wouldn't mean more than physical touch and quality time.
Right.
At all. And I think that's what this person who wrote this post, their partner is probably doing things that they don't even pay attention to, because it's generally the top 2 things on your love language list that you pay attention to. So I pay attention to physical touch and quality time more than I pay attention to the other things.
Yeah, that makes sense. I didn't think about that.
If
Yeah.
that person's love language is acts of service and gift giving, and his partner is never doing either one of those, then they're going to feel like they're not loved. And they're going to feel like things are hard.
Even though they're probably doing the dishes or helping out with the kids or school pickup or whatever.
And if his love language is physical touch, just because mine's physical touch and quality time doesn't mean yours is.
Mm-hmm.
So just because I will touch you, kiss you, want to have sex with you every day doesn't mean you want to, but it doesn't mean that's showing you I love you in your eyes. So if yours was act of service and gift giving, I would have to do those two things as well. So now I'm doing, for me, physical touch, quality time, and for you, acts of service, gift giving. And this is where it gets hard.
Yeah.
Because now it feels like I'm doing 4 things to show you I love you all the time. When in reality, I'm doing 2.
Mm-hmm.
The other 2 are for me. But luckily, we have the same love language. So that's where I think some people have it easier than others.
Right.
They didn't choose a person that's the same love language. That doesn't mean they chose the wrong person that they're not supposed to be married to. It just means you have to step outside your comfort zone. And if your wife, all she needs is the dishes done once a week, and that's all she needs,
Mm-hmm.
and you never do the dishes once a week, then you're not telling your wife you love her.
And she's slowly going to withdraw,
She's not feeling love.
and shut down. And I will say, I don't know if men feel this way, but especially as a female, like if I don't feel like loved or secure, then it makes me not want to have sex, because then I'm feeling insecure about myself. So I'm thinking like, he's not going to want to have sex with me, even though you say you do. But even when like I get in those inside my head sometimes where I'm just like, God, I feel like I've gained so much weight and I don't look good, it kind of makes me withdraw, even though you tell me the total opposite. So that's why it is so important to figure out your person's love language to help them make them feel secure.
Guys can have sex whether love is involved or not.
Right.
If a guy is saying, I've said this before, if a guy is saying he does not want to have sex or he was not in the mood to have sex, and there's something mentally wrong with that guy, because guys are wired to want to have sex as much as possible.
Right.
There's a reason we can still have sex and make babies while females pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
We're wired to want to have sex all the time.
Yeah.
And ladies, if you're telling the guy no, all it takes is one no. And he's going to start thinking, maybe I should start looking elsewhere. All it takes is one no. And that guy will start thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if there's a reason for the no, like, no, the kids are awake and they're next door and the door's open, like, there's people in the house,
right?
Like, whatever. If it's quiet, a long time, I want to have sex, and there's a no given,
mm-hmm.
If that's happening in this situation, and the poster is saying no a lot,
mm-hmm.
then that person might not be feeling the love because they've said no one too many times and they've crossed that. There's a red line. You say no enough, once you cross that red line, there's no coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Because when it comes to cheating, men will cheat for the physical, not the emotional.
Mm-hmm.
Women will cheat for the emotional, not the physical. And I mean, it doesn't apply to everyone. There's always outliers.
Right, but majority.
Women are cheating for the emotional things they're not getting at home. Men will cheat for the physical things they're not getting. So if you're withholding oral, withholding sex, withholding kissing, a man will cheat to get one of those things elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
He will come home and love you, love the kids, be the husband. It doesn't mean he doesn't love you. It means there's a need that's not being met at home. He needs to find somewhere else. Same thing with a woman. If she's on the phone, texting, like flirting with people, but never acting out physically, she's just getting the emotional thing she needs.
Absolutely.
Elsewhere.
Which is still cheating.
It's still cheating.
Oh, absolutely.
It is still cheating to get any of those things outside of your marriage. If you're looking for emotional or physical attention, outside the marriage, it is still cheating.
Mm-hmm.
This person, it's hard for them, I think, because they should have a talk with their spouse, and they should be straightforward on what their love languages are.
Yeah.
And I think people watching these, they need to do the same thing with their spouse. Communicate. This is what I view as love.
Mm-hmm.
Where I said earlier, nobody should ever set expectations. You should not. There should never be expectations. Whether it's, I'm going to the beach, I have these expectations for this trip, you're always going to be let down. Anytime you set expectations for people or events, you're going to be let down because they will never live up to the expectations that you set. When we first started dating, I never set expectations for you at all. I take things minute by minute. I mean, you'll know. I don't make plans.
And I'm so full of anxiety. I've got to plan every minute.
I don't set expectations for what I expect from you.
Right.
Like I tell you all the time, you have one job. That's it.
And I think I am great at that job.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
I think people that are watching and this person writing this post, if you're unhappy in your relationship, sit down and have the talk. Take the love language test.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks it's a bunch of BS.
It's really not.
It's not.
It's not. It will change your relationship.
And it'll change your outlook on how you view relationships too. Because like when I met Allie, I started trying to pinpoint what are her love languages without her telling me. I was trying to be aware of what they are. And I found out real quick what they were. And some people, they don't reveal what they are. They don't express it. They keep it internal and just want people to figure out when they give zero clues.
Well, I think sometimes too, people might not necessarily even realize like what their love language is. And I think that's why it's so important to first figure it out what it is, and then you can talk to your partner.
Yes.
And it, bottom line, like marriage should be fun. Like I love being married. Well, I love being married to you. Let's say that because I've been married before. I love being married to you. I think we have a fun relationship.
Not hard.
Does it require work? Yes, but is it like dreadful? Do I feel obligated? No, not at all.
You have one job.
Yes, I know. I know.
You're obligated to do one job.
But
not washing the dishes.
But I think bottom line is, like you said, love languages. I think bottom line is the little things. Like don't forget, once you find out each other's love language, little things go a long way. And I'll finish up with telling the story I told him because I'm always listening to these podcasts, and I listen to Soft White Underbelly, which is like one of my favorite. He interviews all these people. And the very first one I listened to was like this divorce attorney. I forget his name, but he was...
Call him James.
Sure, James. He was really so awesome to listen to, and I believe he has like a 2-part on there. And he just gives a very good perspective because he's been a divorce attorney, I want to say, for like 40 years or something. So he's kind of seen it all. And these are like high, like wealthy clients. This isn't just your everyday. These are like wealthy people. But he said this one couple in particular, they were sitting outside of mediation and he was talking to the wife and was just like, you know, was there a point when you realized that, yeah, this marriage is over? She was like, yeah. She was like, I knew. And he was like, oh, if you don't mind me asking, what was it? And she said she had this favorite granola that you couldn't get just like anywhere. It was like this one store you could get the granola from. It was her favorite. And without even having to ask her husband, he would always just buy the granola and made sure she always had it. She never had to ask. She never had to worry about filling it. He always got it for her. But in return, she would just give him like blowjobs in the morning before he went to work. And
That'll get you granola all day.
listen, I told you my favorite granola. I still don't have it. And so she was like, yeah. She was like, one day, she was like, I noticed that he stopped buying the granola. And she thought, okay, well, maybe he forgot or got busy. And then time went on and there was still no granola. And then she was like, you know, I really wasn't giving blowjobs. And for her, she was just like, blowjobs was not that big a deal, really didn't take no time, made him happy, started his day off great. But she stopped doing that. He stopped doing the granola, and before they knew it, they never communicated, never addressed anything, and they slowly just kind of withdrew and grew apart. And the next thing you know, they're getting divorced. And that's how easy.
Take away the granola.
That's how easy.
That's what happens.
Yeah. So that's that.
Granola's being blowjobs in this case.
Look, that granola is so good. It's got chocolate chips in it.
Granola is good.
You're welcome. Hey, you're welcome. I will give you tips and tricks on another episode, ladies.
We'll start a Patreon. You can get tips and tricks.
I would love to. Yeah, seriously.
If you want us to start a Patreon where we give tips and tricks on the X-rated part of a relationship, leave some comments down below with just some thumbs up or something.
Yeah. I don't know what you can and cannot say.
While you're liking, sharing, and subscribing to our podcast.
Yep.
Leave us a comment or two with some questions that you want us to discuss. Or
I think whether it's questions about parenting, co-parenting, dealing with exes, sex, whatever. Can you say sex? I don't even know if you can. Oh, okay.
This week we discussed this person's lack of discussing love languages with their partner that everyone should do.
Yeah.
Next week we may discuss another post about fitness, kids,
whatever. Or if you comment, message us, have a question we can address.
If you have a specific one, we will discuss it. You can leave it in the comments what you want to discuss, or email us at moderncouple@gmail.com.
Nice. I didn't know we had an email already. Look at you.
Boom, we do.
Dang. I didn't even know. How about that? Hot dog. All right. Well, I think that's pretty much it for this episode. Bottom line, it's the little things, love language. With that being said, we got to work out and get something to eat because I know you're starving. And I'm starting to get hungry myself. So, all right.
So we'll see you guys next week.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Same time, same channel.